we even gonna have an audience line? All right, so we're good to go. Microphones.
Yep, we're good.
There we go. All right, good evening. This meeting is being held in accordance with the public laws of 1975, chapter 231. And adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by a notice sent to the Asbury Park Press, the Two River Times, and the Star Ledger, and posted in the main lobby of the municipal building and on the municipal website. Our Zoom meeting is not an option tonight, at least video. We do have, but we just have an audio. Oh, okay. Oh, so we're on everyone. Okay, then OPMA authorizes municipalities to conduct public meetings through use of streaming services and other online meeting platforms. The Red Bank Council is meeting in person as well as providing an option for the public to participate via Zoom video meetings. Please note that the option to attend is being provided as a courtesy. Therefore, if Zoom becomes unavailable during the meeting and it cannot quickly be fixed, Council will continue with the remainder of the meeting. For those joining us via Zoom, please raise your hand during designated times to be recognized for a comment. Whether you are appearing in person or via Zoom, you must provide your name to be recognized. So please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Laura.
Councilmember Bonitakis, here. Councilmember Cassidy.
Present.
Councilmember Casey Blackwood, here. Councilmember Forrest.
Present.
Councilmember Janelle. Here. Deputy Mayor Triano. Here. Mayor Portman.
Here. Thank you. All right. We have one proclamation tonight. This is a proclamation for the borough of Boobank, the 76th anniversary of the Halloween parade. Whereas the borough of Red Bank is proud to celebrate the 76th anniversary of the Halloween parade. And whereas in honor of this spooky season, the borough of Red Bank will hereby be renamed Boobank for the entire month of October. And whereas the Parks and Recreation Department, in partnership with the Red Bank River Center, will be transforming the downtown area in preparation of this auspicious autumnal anniversary with flags and banners that will surely send a shiver down your spine. And whereas the theme for this year's Halloween parade is a tale of fright from broad to white, promising a night of ghoulish fun and hair-raising excitement. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the borough of Red Bank officially celebrates the 76th anniversary of the Halloween parade and proudly embraces the spirit of Halloween by becoming Boobank for the entire month of October. Now, therefore, I, William Portman, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the borough of Red Bank, I hereby encourage all residents and visitors to join us in the festivities, don your most frightening costumes, and partake in the spine-chilling events that await in Boobank. Happy Halloween. The clerk really went all out on this one. You gotta look at this. It's a piece of pitch art. Thank you, Laura. Okay, next up, we have a presentation from the Environmental Commission about gas-powered leaf blowers. What was up, Pam? Is that you, or are you just here as moral support? All right.
I was gonna say Paulo is walking in right now.
Okay, we can give him a moment. Your timing is perfect. You're on. That's all right. We're ready for you.
Okay, perfect, thank
All right, just have a seat in one of the chairs and talk right into the microphone.
Good evening, everyone. Do we have the presentation? Should I, we will for those online? Yeah.
The screen is not working, so people who are home watching it are seeing it.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, they're seeing the presentation? Oh, okay.
Yeah, the whole meeting, they're seeing the whole thing, they just
Oh,
can't
we
see.
just can't,
Correct.
we can't see
We
that.
can't see it.
Okay. Well, you're missing out.
All right.
And see.
Well, hopefully it'll be, we can post it on the borough website.
Okay. So I should just pull it up because my notes are on there as well, but Good evening. My name is Paulo Rodriguez Heyman. I'm the chair of the Red Bank Environmental Commission. And the presentation that I'd like to give tonight is on the subject of gas-powered leaf blowers. And everybody knows what they are. Quite frankly, until this issue I was informed about it from a seminar that we attended. I didn't know quite how devastating they are, like the impacts to the environment and human health. You know, of course, you hear people complain about the nuisance of the noise, but it turns out that there is really something more going on with regards to gas-powered leaf blowers. So with that, there's the goal for tonight is to start the process of educating the community, and this is a process to inform people about gas-powered leaf blowers. And it is a part of a campaign that the Environmental Commission has embarked on to get the word out on the issue and build some sense of education on the issue, both really as part of our overall effort to emphasize sustainable landscaping practices. So when it comes to maintaining lawns, you know, some people, for example, want to have the perfect lawn. And what we're realizing is, you know, the amount of environmental degradation that goes into that in terms of pesticides that find their way into the surface water body, like the Navesink River, and then the leaf blower and all of the effort that goes into it, it comes at a cost. And what we're emphasizing is to take it down a notch and, you know, leave the leaves, as they say, incorporate more native plants that are endemic to the area and don't require as much watering using our limited resources. So it's part of an overall campaign. And so that being said, the people who I'm working on this with would be Danelle Goddick Johnson. She's here tonight as the vice chair of the Red Bank Environmental Commission. Dave Johnson, also on the Red Bank Environmental Commission. Pam MacArthur from the Red Bank Green Team. Stephanie Bricken is an informed and very helpful citizen from Red Bank. And then I'm joined by tonight by Lois Kraus. She is the co-founder of Advocates for Transforming Landscaping in New Jersey, the ATLNJ. And she is also a member of the Westfield Green Team. And she has been instrumental in advocating on this issue as well as other environmental issues. She was just in Trenton today about the skip the stuff proposed legislation, but instrumental in helping to shape the actions for gas-powered leaf blower reduction in sustainable Jersey, and also the state regulations that are being considered at this time, and then helping for other municipalities such as what we're doing tonight. So one of the primary issues with gas-powered leaf blowers is air quality. It has been studied that the pollution from 1 hour of a gas-powered leaf blower is the equivalent, creates the equivalent toxic air pollutants as from driving a car 1,100 miles. You might be wondering, how does that make any sense? Well, the technology that you can cram into a tiny little engine is not the same amount of cleaning technology. You know, they don't have a catalytic converter, for example. And so they belch out really this disproportionate amount of fumes that are not only bad for the environment with ozone depleting contaminants like volatile organic compounds, but also carcinogenic compounds like benzene and formaldehyde and other contaminants that are difficult to pronounce. And they also can activate asthma from the particulates And then lastly, climate change components like carbon dioxide and methane. So these are toxic to, the population at large, but one of the main things that's concerning for me is, we've heard a lot about environmental justice issues, and gas powered leaf blowers fit into that category. If the engine from a gas powered leaf blower were on a road, it would be banned for not being able to pass like the smog test. But we allow landscapers to operate them 8 hours a day, day in and day out. And at best, a landscaper might have, eye protection and ear protection. But I mean, I've never seen somebody wearing a respirator when they're operating a gas powered leaf blower. And so we realized that, as part of this campaign, it's about getting the word out, that this is not just a public nuisance. Although they are annoying, it is so much more than that. There's health risks to the workers in terms of asthma, increased rates of cancer from these type of contaminants, heart disease, dementia. The hearing loss in and of itself is cause for concern. Anything greater than 85 decibels can cause permanent hearing loss. These operate at levels of 90 to 110 decibels. And the other thing is the frequency of the sound is a certain, like a lower frequency that can more easily penetrate walls. So the battery powered equivalent, they don't reach the same level of decibels, and the frequency is higher pitched, so it doesn't travel as far. It's not nearly as dangerous and annoying in that regard. So these can cause permanent hearing loss. They can create anxiety and depression, hypertension, also known as high blood pressure. And these chemical compounds can cause cognitive impairment in children. They pose quality of life issues, for people who are even not using them. The amount of homes that one leaf blower can, you can hear them going. It's pretty phenomenal as opposed to a battery powered equivalent. I have a slide that shows the radius of influence from the sound from a battery powered gas leaf blower. You're only hearing it from sort of like the immediate vicinity because partly of the decibel level and partly of the frequency, whereas the gas powered equivalent is going to emanate throughout the neighborhood. And then one other reason here is the impacts to wildlife. So the air that comes out of it is blowing at upwards of 150 to 280 miles per hour. And that is very disruptive to habitat for all kinds of small animals, like from bees, butterflies, moths, and small mammals. So it's, these are animals that we're actively trying to care for and maintain their habitats. And this can be pretty disruptive. You're missing out on telling you this slide is so cute with the little squirrel that is looking stressed. Oh, okay. I mean, if that doesn't do it, I don't know what will. And it blows, the top level of soil and, the dust that's liberated that can also have fecal matter, just to hammer things home that we don't want to be breathing that in. So realizing all of that and realizing how it is not just a matter of maintaining a property, but it is more critically people's livelihoods, right? And Red Bank in particular has, I think, a very diverse community here with a large amount of our constituents coming from the landscaping community. And we want to be mindful of that and not naive to the fact that we're trying to protect people and at the same time not taking away or compromising people's ability to make a living. So that's why public outreach is so important, so that people don't feel that we're trying to impose, we're not imposing a regulation, but impose a potential regulation even on somebody that's gonna curtail their ability to operate their equipment to make a living, but to help build consensus and to help educate the people who are probably arguably being impacted the most by these harmful contaminants. So what we're proposing is to continue this public outreach campaign. We're asking all of you to certainly ask questions. I'm just gonna continue here, but tonight, to generate some feedback and see where this goes. We would be following, we wouldn't be first in the state. That's never fun to be the guinea pig. We would actually be following on multiple other municipalities that have already enacted similar. We're not necessarily looking to get in line here because it could take multiple years till you build enough consensus and see where it goes, but just for your information, there's a handful of municipalities that have partial bans on gas-powered leaf blowers, and what that looks like is they would allow them in the fall and the spring when they're needed the most, but then curtail them and allow battery-powered equipment in the winter and summer. There's like Princeton, Morristown, Leonia, and South Orange have them. There's 3 more towns pending for 2025. And there's more than 100 municipalities nationwide, including the state of California. Now, some of the responses I had mentioned at the state level, there's also proposed legislation that has that would issue this policy on a statewide level as far as curtailing the sale and use of gas-powered lawn equipment, but it would also incentivize the transition with tax credits for replacement. And then the BPU, there's also another proposed legislation in the assembly with the BPU to establish rebates for battery-powered leaf blowers. We would be drawing on the support of numerous local nonprofit partners, including Lois Krause from ATLNJ. Lawrence Goronsky is here from Sustainable Jersey. They've created actions around gas-powered leaf blowers. ANJAC has conducted outreach as well. That's actually how we initially heard of it. The American Green Zone Alliance, AGZA, and last but not least, the New Jersey Nursery and Landscape Association. So as I mentioned, our BEC's approach is to encourage sustainable landscape practices, and part of that would be the reduction of gas-powered leaf blowers, leaving the leaves, no mow May, you guys may have heard of that, native plants, encouraging battery-powered alternatives. We have generated a very artistically sophisticated flyer that looks fantastic that one of our members, Dave Johnson, made, and we've been pushing that out to the community at every chance, whether it's tabling at any of the community events and getting the word out. We also have a website that we maintain, redbank.site, that I would encourage everybody to visit, and we have a section on there for leaf blowers. And we also push information out through social media. One of our members also sat down with the DPU to get their initial take on it, and we'll continue that dialogue to encourage them to switch to to battery-powered equipment. And so besides tonight's presentation, one of the things that we'll discuss is having sort of a separate meeting with the community, including the landscaping community, and getting their feedback. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to anybody who has questions, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions? Ben,
Yeah, couple,
Michael?
So have you surveyed the businesses and, you know, how many, landscaping businesses do we have in town, out of curiosity?
So one of the things that other municipalities have is a registration list for landscapers, which would be advantageous, but we don't have that, so to answer your question, no. I don't know how many landscaping businesses or how we could actually contact them. Except we'd have to find some way of getting in
Now,
touch with them.
I just want to make sure I understand, so we're not talking about a ban or curtailing the use of them at this point,
Correct,
you're not recommending them.
that is correct.
So this would be an education campaign.
Right.
So, okay. Now, there are different flavors of leaf blowers, like I know there's 2-stroke engines and 4-stroke engines when it comes to combustion, of course, I believe there's battery powered ones as well.
Mhm.
Could you educate me a little bit on that?
Right, so my understanding is the battery powered equipment has come a long way. And, you know, they have, certainly for your average homeowner, they're more than robust enough. And they've also come a long way where, you know, commercial uses can, even be met with the battery powered equipment. 4-stroke, I believe, I'm not sure if they have 4-stroke. They do.
So 2-stroke is 7-chamber between oil and gas. That's what the loud ones you're hearing are.
Dirtier, right?
Yes, they're very dirty. Think of it like the engine of a Tut-Tut. You remember seeing those that, you know, out in, I don't know, they're still out in India, they use that, same engine as that. A 4-stroke that's combined, so it's cleaner, but those are much bigger, so those are the turbine or the buffalo blowers that are either push, like they have that big round cylinder, those are typically used on golf courses, cemeteries, because they're very heavy, so they would compact the soil, they would be practical on a residential.
And you don't mind, what's your name again?
Lois, Kress.
And are you the visitor from? No. Okay, now, the social justice issues here, I mean, what, do you have a timeline and do you have a goal, a metric of how much less use you'd like to see? The commission, you know, on this campaign, say a year after it's enacted, or you start the campaign?
Right, I think the goal would be to do like an iterative approach, you know, we could, encourage people to participate in a voluntary program and see how it goes, you know. Having those discussions with their landscapers, so it's sort of like two sides of the coin. One of them is educating the landscaping community on the health effects. And the other one is educating the public on, or the folks who are the clients of the landscapers, that it's okay to tell your landscaper not to get every leaf off your property, and, you know, just to sort of adopt these more sustainable landscaping practices. So that way, we would encourage people to participate in a voluntary pilot study, for example. You know, and then take the data from that and assess, you know, and then continue to dialogue with the community and see what would make sense for the next step after that. Does that make sense?
And actually, the most concerning thing to me that you brought up, and I didn't really think about it, it's always been the noise thing, and I'm impacted in our house, because my wife doesn't like air conditioning, so we have our windows open, so when the blowers are going, we can't hear anything.
Right.
But I hadn't thought of the health impact, especially I guess from those 2-stroke engines, and how serious that is, and what an issue it is, because so many Red Bank residents work in that industry. You know, it's something I'm just processing that now. I hadn't really thought of that, and I do appreciate your pointing that out. I want to thank the Environmental Commission for all this work. How long have we had these things? And it seems like my entire life now, but I don't really know how long have they been with us? 20 years? I mean, it seems like we did somehow manage. I remember as a kid raking with a rake. Rake. I mean, I remember rake. I know that sounds crazy, but somehow we survived with just a rake. How long have we had these?
Yeah, there's another microphone there.
Reinforcements.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, just that way everybody can hear you.
I know I'm 62, so that's
So much.
old days.
So, they came in the seventies originally, for stadium cleanup. But they started to proliferate with Levittown. With all the perfectly green manicured lawns. And have gotten progressively worse since the nineties. So, yeah, when you were little, you had a rake.
All right, and one other, and I have, this issue has been, when we're a campaign, this issue came up a lot, pro and con. One issue that a landscaper articulated to me was that, back then, the problem is that the battery powered ones aren't there yet for commercial use. That I can't carry around 16 battery packs with me on my truck and always get out and do lawns. And, we can't really switch, it's not really there yet. That's what he said a year ago. I don't know what that story is. I know we're not talking about a ban yet, but
So they are getting better. Coupled with, as we get more landscapers that are using F-150s where they have panels on them so that they can charge through their truck, that's also going to help. But again, as Paula said, if you really want to, it's not just a matter of supplanting a gas powered leaf blower, putting in a battery. You have to get people to change their behavior. So one thing that I want to highlight, in Maplewood and Montclair also have bans. Those are both year round, you should know. In Maplewood, because and Montclair, they did so much education on mulch mowing, leaving the leaves. Their street leaves for like fall removal has dropped, Nancy Adams said, by 60% the tonnage. So it helps with stormwater management, it helps your costs when you're cleaning. But back to the landscaper, we love to recommend a seasonal approach. It's a way to ease in. The landscapers know this is coming. There are other states, Washington DC has it. Columbia County, Maryland has it, so they know it's coming.
you said California has a ban now.
They have a
Right.
ban now also, so they need time. And money, that's what they'll tell you, time and money. The average gas leak blower lasts about 3 years. So the idea is that they hopefully will replace over time as the equipment improves. But there's no reason to blow grass clippings in August in 95-degree weather. Like, it's silly. It's generating so much pollution, so much noise pollution, heard and unheard, and denuding the soil. So we're really trying to get people to get comfortable with using them if you feel you have to for the fall cleanup.
Well, one of the things that bugs me is that very often I see them used for very minor tasks. Like, there's a few things on the driveway, or 20 minutes to deal with that. Anyway, so that's it, that's my rant, Mayor, I'm done.
I have a question. To the Environmental Commission, I want to thank you so much for coming. And, oh, yeah, that helps, right? Okay, is this better?
Yes.
Okay, so I want to thank you so much for coming and sharing what you've been working on with this. How do you plan to reach homeowners with the educational material, with the flyers? Is there a campaign to work with the borough to maybe put that in a mailing? Or create a little postcard that can go, through the borough or anything like that? Do you have any plans along those lines?
Yeah, thank you for the question. We were talking about if there's some integrating into some mailer that's already being sent, like a tax bill, or if it's possible, the technology, whoever's stuffing the envelopes and.
We could start with a newsletter that also gets put out through the civic alert system via text, the digital newsletter.
That would be great. We could
That's
do
a
like
great
a
start.
little hyperlink. And we understand that the borough has a new community outreach.
A community engagement coordinator, Adriana, yes. One also thing, I'd like to ask, and maybe Lois might know this because I know you're more closely associated. Has any of the bills in the New Jersey legislature, are they still in committee? Or they haven't made it out of committee yet?
No, Senator Smith's, I think it's I've got all my bills
I know the
Yes,
number,
right,
yeah.
S-195 or whatever, that did pass, move out of committee. So it's now, we're working on some amendments with his policy staff and it has to go to appropriations. In addition, Lisa Swain's bill went through the assembly.
Which
That,
one, is that the A 466, the
No.
sister bill?
no,
Okay.
no. the
So
other
the one for BPU to establish rebates?
So that also went through committee, so again, they have to go to appropriations now. Barnett Halls is 466, so that's, hasn't been heard yet.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
One more thing, it's a plug for the Environmental Commission. I would like to say that they have a fantastic website which got initiated through a grant we had with Destination Red Bank. And on there, they have various links, so it's what to do in Red Bank, who are interesting people in Red Bank, how to do your walks around Red Bank, and also an environmental section. And they have a lot of good information on there, so, you know, I just want to put a plug in for redbank.site and take a look, see. So that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, just a quick question, I know for Paul or for Lois, do we know, are there any resources for landscapers to become more educated in kind of the new paradigm that you're talking about, maybe even become preferred providers for people who are interested in this, homeowners?
Absolutely. So, the Total Pro Conference, which is sponsored by NJNLA, New Jersey Landscaper and Nursery Association, they have a whole track that is all sponsored by AGSA, the American Green Zone Alliance. So think of them as consumer report for landscaping equipment with education. So they do training, teaching the landscapers how to buy the right equipment, how to store it, how to use, maximize batteries, the financials. So there is certification. A few towns have also hired AGSA to come in and train their public works. And I do want to highlight that with the towns, and there are 6 right now that have ordinances on the books. They also have the public works make the conversion over. So you have to model the behavior starting with yourself. So that would be a good place to start. Success, thank you.
I believe Preston got a grant for the AGSA outreach
Yeah,
education.
they got, and also to work with their Spanish speaking landscapers.
Do you have anyone online have any questions? Okay. Anyone else? No?
Thank you for.
Yeah,
being
thank you
here.
very much.
Thank you, and thank you for starting with education. I myself have worked on multiple education outreach campaigns before being up here. I'm a former chair of the Environmental Commission before I served here. Nancy's a former chair of our Environmental Commission here. But education, starting with it is paramount. To see that there were other towns that did 6 years of education. In your presentation here, I had the fortune of sitting next to a computer. But to see that there were 6 years, you know, maybe that's not what's right for Red Bank, but certainly starting with some education. I also had the opportunity to sit in on that DPU meeting. I happened to be in the office upstairs when it happened. And I know that we were dedicated to, when the League of Municipalities happens, to go and look at vendors and see options for our personal DPW. So that was a step that was talked about and put in motion. And yeah, but thank you so much for education and outreach. And I know that Audrey would be happy to help with that and with including you in the newsletter at a time of year that's appropriate. To reach people. I'm unsure if you want it to be in the November one, but if you do, it's not too late. So
Okay, great. Yeah, it'll be a great opportunity to engage with the community, you know, and the landscaping community as well. So we'll look forward to that.
and the newsletter comes out in English and Spanish now.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you. Okay, next up, we have public comments on agenda items only. We're happy to hear from you, but only on agenda items. So can I have a motion to open the floor for public comments on agenda items only?
I'll make such a motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
May you define agenda?
What's that?
May you define agenda?
It's this agenda right here. It's on the table here at the front. If you want to take a look.
Yeah.
Yes, but you'll also have a couple other opportunities to speak as well.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else have any comments? No, anyone online? All right, can I have a motion to close the public comments on agenda items
I'll
only?
make such a motion.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to approve the minutes for 9/26/2024? Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the executive session on 9/26/24?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have our resolutions. Anything needs to be pulled out, or can we authorize everything on the consent agenda? Anybody have anything on there they wanna highlight? No?
Good.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve resolutions 24-217 through 24-230 on the consent agenda?
You know, Mr. Mayor, I should remove myself from 24-225, the approval below staff benefits list as I'm a recipient.
Okay, we're gonna, we'll
Yeah.
do a roll call on it too, so you'll have an opportunity. Okay, all right, so then we're gonna do that one separately then. We'll pull that one out. Thank you. This is for 24-225. Okay, so, can I have a motion to approve 24-225, the award of the LoSAP benefits for 2023?
Make such a motion.
Have a second? Roll call, please, Laura.
Councilmember Von Tucker?
Yes.
Councilmember Cassidy?
Abstain.
Councilmember Tracy Blackwood?
Yes.
Councilmember Quars?
Yes.
Councilmember Janot?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Triviano?
Abstain.
Mayor Porter?
Yes. For those of you following along, Deputy Mayor Triviano and Councilman Cassie are both active volunteer firefighters, which is why they abstained. Okay, can I have a motion to approve resolutions 24-217 through 24-230, excluding 24-225?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Von Tucker?
Yes.
Councilmember Cassidy?
Yes.
Councilmember Tracy Blackwood?
Yes.
Councilmember Quars?
Yes.
Councilmember Janot?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Triviano?
Yes.
Mayor Porter?
Yes. All right, just letting everyone know some special events that are coming up. John Street, my street, Best Street in Red Bank, is having its block party, this Saturday from 2 to 8. Dog days, these are the, for next year, right?
Yes.
So we have dog days is already set for next year, Riverside Garden Parks, it'll be September 6th, 2025, with a rain date of September 7th, 2025.
Now, the block party's this year, I mean, this
Yeah,
Saturday. right?
This Saturday. Yeah.
That's Saturday, yeah. You gotta know somebody though, if you want to come.
I might sneak in.
All right, it's a good one. Gets really good about 10 o'clock or so.
Oh, no, I get it.
All right, we also have the town lighting with Holiday Express on November 29th. We have the West Side Tree Lighting on December 6th at 6 p.m. in Johnny Jazz Park. We have the downtown Red Bank Holiday Trolley running December 7th, 8th, 14th, and 15th. And we have something called the Downtown Ice Carving Experience on December 22nd. If anybody knows what this is, please let me know as soon as possible.
Ice sculpture carving through River Center.
Where's it happening?
Ice sculpture carving through River Center around the downtown in the special improvement district.
There you go. My question was answered instantly. Can I have a motion to open the floor for public questions and comments?
I'll make such a motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, anything that's on your mind on any topic? Yes, saw your hand first.
Suzanne Visconti, 25 Cedar Street. I just wanted to take a minute to recognize a member of the community we lost, Jim Janelle. He, was actually on the council when he took an expired term. He was the chairman for many years of the GOP party in town. He ran, New Market Real Estate, and he had a lot of great stories. I just want to bring your attention, you guys lost a former member to set up like it is. I think we missed. Number one. Number two, I appreciate, Councilwoman Nancy Blackwood and the mayor coming out, to the west side to hear, a whole forum, which is really good. Most of the issues were brought up many times prior, but it was nice to have more voices brings to the attention of issues on the west side, from roosters to parking issues and overcrowding and trash on the ground, dog poop on the ground. The intersection, Mr. Fergie Boyd keeps wanting to get fixed. I did see someone say they work for a four-way stop. I mean, something needs to be done, maybe sooner than later, even if it's temporary, because it is, sometimes the streets are there's nothing going on, but when it's busy on the west side, it's, I mean, and unfortunately, a lot of things are not reported. I actually spoke to someone today when I was walking my dogs. They said, they saw a car hit a person on the bike and he didn't want to report it for whatever reason. So unfortunately, a lot of things are not being reported, not your guys' fault, just mentality. When people feel they just don't feel confident reporting everything, but that's said because it's through the numbers, right? Because you're only, able to say X amount of accidents happen when they are reported. So I hope things do get reported, so you do have the true knowledge of activity that's going on. And you can make the right decisions, for safety. And one of the issues, and I'm not speaking on behalf of the school board, I'm just happen to be in two different places. One of the issues somebody mentioned was Lane and River Street. If you'll please work with with Dr. Rummage, if there are any issues as far as traffic flow, we definitely want to look after the safety of our kids. We have a lot of walkers and everything, so, please reach out. I know he was going to be a partner with you all. Thank you.
Yeah, that, we talked about it a lot. That forum was very helpful. In fact, I was talking with Jim about trying to do that on a much more regular basis. I mean, look, some of those items, I can't help the traffic on Shrewsbury Avenue as they develop around here, but there's other items that are really actionable. And it's helpful just to hear them directly from the community. So we're definitely gonna be doing more of those on both the east side and the west side. So just the residents are feeling heard.
Yeah, I think, Mr. Boyd said there was about 51 or 3 people that came, so you definitely reached a lot of people. Of course, I mean, I've been coming for many years on, I think it'll be fixed, but recognizing it, and you can do a little at a time to show faith that things are getting done because people are getting hurt. And I mean, honestly, there's something up, it's like the Wild Wild West some days on the west side. And it's
Yeah,
crazy.
in fact, one of the things we talked about, we haven't even discussed it, but I'll bring it up anyway and see if I get in trouble after. We talked about hiring another parking attendant just for the west side. And we have 2 or 3 now, I think we've hired in the past year, and we're clearly writing a lot of tickets. If you saw the Asbury Park Press, we're only behind Asbury Park in the most parking tickets written in Monmouth County.
They were at 60,000.
They are, yeah. We wrote 14,000 tickets, so,
Asbury Park's at 60,000.
yeah, so, we talked about hiring another enforcement officer just for the west side, which came directly from that meeting.
Or I can give you the timing of it, because honestly, I had to go down to an errand for somebody, and I drove back my walls and everything, and at night, and there were so many cars blocking the intersection and sidewalks. Just drive through at night, you can see how unfortunately it's repetitive because that's how they use the car for the day. But I will be honest with you, I probably saw the first time I saw a parking enforcement car come down Bridge Avenue. And I'm always outside walking the bin box, trust me. It was the first I ever saw it because it is needed. So hopefully we see some impact, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Anyone else? Sir, you had your hand up in the back there. Just gonna ask you to come forward, and you gotta just state your name and address in the microphone so people who are listening at home can hear your valuable question.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Charles Janjigian at 165 Spring Street. Okay, and right now, are we working on the agenda of the downtown trolley? Is that part of the agenda that I would bring that up?
You can, it is on the agenda, yeah, but this is open comment. You can talk about anything.
All right, so,
3 minutes though.
3 minutes, okay, I can do that. Let's see, I am new here in town for 2 years.
Welcome.
Okay, thank you. The town is a great town and I think it can be greater. I just came with one simple request, on, Marina Court there. How the hedge is completely out of control. It's where the new condos are, 21 West is on the corner, you know, that sloping access. The drainage there, we're going to have a big flood eventually, and the drain, the main drain, the cement is completely broken up. It's the whole thing is out of control, that corner by the boat center. Okay, and that's why I came here. I stopped at two other establishments on the way here. And I was added agenda to bring to the attention of the town is one. By a single mother with her child is, why are the head shops, the vape shops, the dispensaries taking over? The kids ask, what's that? My kids do when they come to visit from Bergen County. And quickly, just to keep it moving, is I have a whole list here. We'll talk about that another time. From there's 10 pieces here for your vendors on Monmouth Street, whom right now I am calling the Forgotten Street. To keep it simple, we'll just stick with the trolley. And their complaint is, this is the quote, the town needs a new direction, not a body that concentrates on one thing, broad street. A weekend of free parking, June, July, and August, to have people come to town. We have great restaurants, stores, the trolley drive should be open more often. And that makes sense, and I don't have enough time to get into the 3-minute mark, but there's a lot we can do in this town. That corner I was talking about, the 21 West.
Is it 26 West, you mean, where the restaurant?
Yeah, it's gonna be
Okay.
26 West, yes. They have a beautiful view of the skyline, and I love that view. But now there's a hedge that's just taking over the whole window. The poor folks are losing their view. So with that, I'll wrap it up quickly, and this other 10, this is from your own vendors and whatnot, we can go over at a different time.
Appreciate it.
And I'll give you this and I'll finish it up there.
All right, and thank you for coming to your first council meeting.
You got it. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Look at you, right on time. You took a moment to celebrate. I like that.
You can just bring those notes up if you'd like, we'll take them.
I'll take a photocopy.
All right,
Oh, I can just take a picture of it if you want.
Okay.
and Boris, did you say you had your hand up? You can bring it up. All right, we'll let Boris talk first, appreciate it. Either way.
Good evening, Boris Hoffman, 28 Riverside Avenue. I just wanted to thank the Environmental Commission for all the work that they've done on this really important issue. I learned myself, and I thought I knew enough about it, but I learned things about it tonight. And I'm really encouraged by what you started with, and looking forward to actually having this implemented in the next 2 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else have any questions or comments? Anyone online? Okay, can I have a motion to close the public comment?
Make such a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Christine, you have anything you want to address?
It's been kind of a heavy news week, but I'm happy to focus on a couple of good things in town locally. One of them, I'm happy to announce the Historic Preservation Commission was actually awarded a $45,000 grant from the New Jersey Historic Trust. And that is going to go toward developing design guidelines and also an architectural survey of the borough. So that's going to greatly reduce costs in creating those. It should be really valuable items on our progress with the commission. So very excited about that. And secondly is a little more personal than council. I'm glad I'm first because I get to embarrass my neighbor here. And congratulate Dave Cassidy on passing the bar.
Earlier, I said I can't be embarrassed, but it's not true. I just want to briefly mention, it's October, we talked about this last meeting, it's fire prevention. Deputy Mayor Trigiano and I both work at the primary school, and I just want to acknowledge the incredibly hard work of our fire marshal's office and of our fire chiefs and of the rank and file members who are all turning out across from whether they are private, public, daycares. The schedule was the most robust I have seen in 16 years, and it's just important work that people are doing, and the kids just love it. And I just want to acknowledge that hard work of our chiefs and our fire marshals office, because they're doing a fantastic job. And it's always so much fun to get to go hang out with the school kids for a few hours. But that's it.
Do a great job.
First and foremost, I'd like to say congratulations to David Cassidy for passing the bar first try. That's awesome. And moving on, I just want to say that we've had quite a few events in town this past week. We had Porch Fest, which looked like it was a success. We also worked with Easy Ride to lay out the temporary bike lanes. I did see a lot of walkers and I did see a lot of people on bikes.
Yeah.
And between Laura, I and Marta, I think every person that came by on a bicycle, we accosted them and like, please fill out the bike survey. So hopefully we'll be getting the results from Easy Ride to hear what people think. And that would help us as we move forward. As you know, this past summer, Red Bank passed the Complete and Green Streets ordinance. And through that, we are holistically looking at the town street by street as we're working on them to see how we can truly make them a complete street, which would favor pedestrians, cyclists, and cars in that order. If I have my way. So, yes, thanks, Lord. So, that was good. I attended a community engagement event at for people on the west side that was hosted by Freddie Boyden, and I get there, there were a lot of concerns raised about a walkway, the path where kids go to school and asking for a four-way intersection. And I think, and I've said this before, the way that the roads are, in such a way they have 3 speed bumps. So what happens is people slow down for the speed bump, then they fly down, slow for the stop sign at Dr. James Parker Boulevard, then speed up to the next speed bump, slow down, and then speed to the next speed bump. So it is something that I believe as a borough that we're looking into, and I'm looking at Jim for that. A little bit of guidance with that. Yesterday, we also met with Harrison Avenue. That is a street that is being worked on as part of the 2023 road management plan. It's a lovely wide street, and you know what that means, people speed, right? So we went there to talk about, and because it is a wide street and there are bike lanes on the Fairhaven side, we talked about putting in bike lanes. So we met with Easy Ride and they all came to this meeting. We met with the engineer. She laid out the plans, there were about 22 community people who live on Harrison that came down to air their concerns. And of course, one of the first things they said was, what are you gonna do with my water lines? And because it's a full remill of the road. So Jacqueline talked about all the stuff that happens under the ground. And then they talked about speeding and, they explained how putting in a bike lane will help slow people down. And of course, every time we look at a road, we plan to take a look at highlighting intersections or daylighting intersections is the word that they use, and try to make it safer for pedestrians, cyclists, cars in that order. So that's about all I have, and I'm gonna now hand it off to to Ben.
Okay, I want to thank Sue for bringing up Jim Janelle. I did know him. I remember I think he sat in this very spot actually when he was serving for council. He was our, Republican chairman for a while, as you mentioned, and he was certainly concerned about Red Bank issues. And I spoke to him at the campaign. I ran into him and Jerry quite frequently. So thank you, Sue, for bringing his name up today. Also, on my mind is our swearing in tomorrow of our new chief. It's huge. I lived here, I guess, since '96, and maybe I've seen 3 chiefs of police sworn in over the years. I think me too. It's a long time coming and a lot has happened and been quite, we've been, I guess, this council's been here for a little over a year, a lot's happened. So it's a big deal, and I'm kind of excited about, moving forward and, a new chief of police. And, let's see, also I did attend, the meeting that Freddie Boyd organized, nobody asked me to be on the table, so I just sat in the audience, and I did find it very useful. I think the team here handled it well. Jim, you were there, we had a police officer there, Mayor, you were there, and Nancy was nice. I didn't mind not being up on the table, so, because you guys were getting a lot of tough questions, but I think it's important to be reminded of these quality of life issues that come up, like the traffic. I mean, one of the overriding things in general was traffic related stuff. And it's a tough issue, and I get it a lot as a councilman. We are a crossroads, and nobody really consulted Red Bank when they decided to build out all the towns around us. And I think once upon a time, when most of the area around Red Bank was rural, and I remember some of that as a kid. Now, I don't know how much of the percentage of traffic on Shrewsbury Avenue at any given day is from out of town, but I'm gonna say at least 80%. I mean, and you hear rage and frustration, and I have rage and frustration just coming here tonight, crossing Shrewsbury Avenue. But unless we build walls around the town, there's not much we can do to stop people from driving through Red Bank. We're just gonna have to do combination of enforcement and the assorted other things that we all know. And of course, everyone wants a police officer at the end of their block at the right time when somebody does something. I want that. Of course, every time we hire a police officer, it raises taxes and it costs a lot of money, so we have to be mindful about those costs as well, because I get a lot of concerns about our property taxes. Anyway, just grateful to be here, and that's all I have. I think I gave all the updates from Parks and Rec last meeting. I don't need to do it again. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you, Ben. Laura?
I wanted to congratulate the two, first try, congratulations. Porch Fest was a great success. This is the 3rd year. Joel and I hosted it in East Bergen, and the bike lanes were a big hit. And I talked to a lot of people that were on the bikes that came from Middletown and Highlands, and they weren't just using their bikes. They had scooters, they had skateboards, and a lot of people just gathered across the street from my house with their bikes because the front lawn and the driveway was all built up. So it's really nice to see. And yes, I ran around with the survey, so I hope we'll get some good results of that. I already want to host next year. To me, it's one of the most fun events we have in town all the time. The two committee, this morning we had a National Faith and Blue Weekend with clergy, cops, and community prayer breakfast that most of us attended. It was really very nice to meet all different, the police were there and they were blessed, and the community people, Parkwood Clinic, lunch break, a lot of resources that we have in town. And then we had a nice breakfast where we could share ideas, and I really enjoyed that. Library, I'm a library liaison, so I have a couple things here. A lot of things around Halloween. Turn into YouTube to watch Greek Beat Chronicles with Christine. There's a new episode that goes in every Friday at 3 p.m. Cozy up by the fireplace for fireside story time at Wednesday, 6 p.m. Come to the library for a night of ghostly tales about Red Bank with Pat Hayer. Tuesday, October 22nd at 6:30 p.m. It's online and in person. And Wednesday, October 23rd for Halloween at Hogwarts Bash. The Wizarding World opens at 5 p.m. Come in to witness the thrills. Log on to Canopy for a selection of spine-chilling films. And they still can get a free Red Bank Library card. That was the library. And then we had animal welfare this week. And we had a meeting with Jim and the chair of animal welfare with Monmouth County SPCA, and we talked about some of the issues we had, and a lot of them have been resolved. We're gonna buy a scanner for the chips, for dogs to give to the police department, along with, a resident in our town who's was at Dog Days and got a lot of contributions from Wallace Street, and then we're gonna pay the other half of that, so we're gonna get that, so that when dogs are lost, that we scanned here at the police department. We wanna host another food drive in December, Laura, which we always get those boxes and we put them around. We put them at, Pins and Feathers and in the municipal building, and they collect dog food and cat food. And we give it to lunch break, and this year we're gonna add, Rainbow Pals Civic Association, pantry also for dog and cat food. We're gonna have a rabies clinic, and I think it's in December at the firehouse, on the west side, yeah. And Little Silver, vets are gonna be giving rabies shots, and while people are there getting their dogs rabies shots, we'll have registration forms so that people will register their dogs.
December 7th.
December 7th, thank you. It was December. There's also gonna be a presentation by one of our members, at the November meeting. Mary Warner is bringing in, a speaker to talk about natural habitat. I think she talked to you about that, Nancy, at,
Yes.
yeah, so.
Her dog is Betsy.
Betsy is your dog. Yeah, so she's doing a presentation on the natural habitat. That will be in our November meeting. And we're getting a few new members, to Animal Welfare. We're down a few members, so we have interest from 2 new people in town. And we got an update on the, TNR from the cats, and that's ongoing behind the Y and on the west side. Thank you.
Very thorough, Laura, thank you. Kate?
Okey dokes. So from Red Bank Community Engagement and Equity Committee, which I liaison to, we have a new member that was just put on tonight, Anita Pierce, so she's been a member of the committee for a long time, look forward to her input. The Community Engagement and Equity Committee is, looking for submissions of family recipes to share with the community as a way to share our diversity and our cultures. So please go to their Facebook page, Red Bank Community Engagement Equity Committee. You can see some of the recipes that have already been shared. You don't have to be shy. It doesn't have to be, written by your grandma on a special piece of paper. If it tastes good and it works good for your family, then, maybe somebody else in Red Bank will like it too. We just really want people to participate. For the Red Bank Borough Education Foundation, I'm not the liaison, but I'm just covering some things. They're having their trivia night, fundraiser October 16th. October 18th is the Halloween movie night in the park. It's gonna be Nightmare Before Christmas. On October 20th is the town Halloween parade. On October 24th, it's Witches Night Out. This year, River Center and the town's partnered with 180 Turning Lives Around, to bring awareness to domestic violence. So you'll see that the town has been painted purple. We discussed that at the last meeting. But October 24th is Witches Night Out. Also on October 24th is going to be a jack-o'-lantern drop-off. This is a new community event with the Parks and Rec and River Center and the borough. Essentially carve a really cool jack-o'-lantern, bring it to Riverside Gardens Park the night of October 24th. They're going to be judging for the best jack-o'-lantern. That person will receive a prize. And then those jack-o'-lanterns will be on display in the park through Halloween, I believe, so for 3 days. So great community event. It'll be really cool to be able to visit the park and see that as a display. Looking forward to Frazie's swearing in tomorrow. That's a really amazing day for the borough. And then I think everybody else covered everything because we have the best council ever. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. I also want to congratulate Dave for passing the bar on his first time. Very impressive. I think also Kim Kardashian passed her first time. I remember.
He's just trying to see if he can get a vote.
I am very much looking forward to Captain Frazee swearing in tomorrow. It's going to be here. It's a special meeting. You are all invited. It's at 3 o'clock, and then afterwards we're going over to the Elks to celebrate. So it'll be a good day for the borough. That's all I got. Jim, you got something?
Oh, yeah.
All right. I'm gonna triple dip and congratulate you again, Councilman. I always like hearing your report. Yeah, well, here we go. I just want to say, that I was actually honored today to go to the 4th annual community prayer breakfast for, our law enforcement around Monmouth County, our, nonprofits and our community leaders. It was definitely a great event that was coordinated by Pastor Porter here, in Red Bank. And it's great to see how he's able to just bring a lot of different community members and community groups together in one place. Also met this week, as we spoke about at, Masonic Lodge number 36 on the west side with the concerned west side residents. I thought that was a great meeting. It was definitely obvious that there was a lot of people, and Sue, I was actually interested too on the number, but you said around 50 people or so. Yeah, 50 people or so that had concerns, that wanted to voice their concerns, and we sat for 2 hours. We had some dialogue back and forth, and I took a lot of notes. And there was a number of concerns that were voiced, and I think there's a lot of, as the mayor said, a lot of actionable items on there. And some that people, I think, community members just want to vent too, and say this is what affects them, and we hear that. The other meeting that we had this week on Harrison Ave at Eastside Park, I thought that was kind of a great, just impromptu setting. We sent letters to Harrison Ave residents to advise them of the New Jersey DOT grant that we received for this project. This was a 2023 grant, which is being spent in 2024 for the milling, repaving, underground infrastructure. And then we took that holistic look to see if we would be able to incorporate a bike lane there, which would actually remove parking on one side of the street. So that was the concern that we kind of want to hear from the Harrison Ave residents. And I was kind of surprised to hear that wasn't their main concern, was removing the parking or adding, it was the speed. It was, what can we do to address that? And I do think that potentially adding the bike lanes can bring that road a little bit more pinched. And naturally, when you see paint on a road, naturally people slow down a little bit more. So we're looking to increase, hopefully it has that cause and effect too of increasing safety on that road. I am also happy to say, the mayor and I attended a meeting today at the Monmouth County Hall of Records with the county commissioners, with the county commissioners to meet with them and learn that the borough is receiving the 2024 open space grant in the amount of $475,000 from the Monmouth County Open Space for our marine park project. Yay! Wow, that's a big deal. This is why I told you, hold on, man, I got more to go. So, also in the vein of grants, you may have remembered at one meeting we had, help me with the name, the Realtor.
Oh, yeah, the Realtors, the National, New Jersey Realtors
New
Association.
Jersey Realtors Association heard of one of our concepts of trying to, increase, bike racks and just making things more bike friendly around the borough. We got in contact with them. We were able to be awarded a $7,500 grant for the purchase of bike racks. We placed that order last week. 3 pallets worth of bike racks arrived at Borough Hall. So we have 24 U-shaped bike racks that will be installed around the borough in various locations, close to our parks, in the downtown, on the west side, in various locations. And it also includes a bike repair station that will be here at Borough Hall, probably next to our bike rack, our bike shaped bike rack, out front of Borough Hall. So the $7,500 grant covers all that material. We work with our public works department to install those around the town.
And that the bike repair station also includes the bike, right?
The bike pump, yep. So the repair station also.
Really, that was for
includes,
you.
a bike pump.
Yeah, I had a flat tire at Porsche Fest.
How embarrassing.
Terrible.
So, another thing that I wanted to highlight is that I know that we had some members, I believe the mayor, Nancy, Shauna, from our community, our director of community development, went to Easy Rides Champions of Change, where the borough was a recipient of 3 awards there, a gold level Safe Routes to School Award and a gold and silver certifications for electric vehicle adoption and leadership there for those awards. So there's 3 awards. So congrats to you guys for the work on that.
Especially to Nancy.
Yes, absolutely. Nancy's always on this stuff and keeps us on our toes with it, so it's very appreciated. You may have noticed, obviously, on the resolutions that were passed was a service, a professional service for SDL. Spatial Data Logic is the company that we're looking to transition to. It's a online system that will replace our current GovPilot system. Because there's a little bit more functionality that as a borough, we want to institute. One of those main functionalities is actually the ability to accept online payments. Here we are in 2024. Yes, I see people like happy about that because if you can eliminate a trip and you can get everything done from start to finish through a borough program, we want to make sure we're trying to enhance the services as best as possible. Right now, a lot of our forms are through Adobe that we create or we have to change, and there's copies of forms and terrible copies of forms over and over. This program allows us to build forms directly in the program. It's interdepartmental. Our departments will be able to talk to each other as far as how we are through maybe a permitting process. The police department will have access to this to see what types of permits are at certain properties with condition issues or other things that they should be concerned about from a public safety perspective. So it's going to be a great integration of our departments and an enhancement to hopefully the residents from their experience from start to finish with that. And I too am very happy about tomorrow's swearing in ceremony. I think that it's time for Captain Frazee to move into that role as Chief Frazee. Here. It'll be here tomorrow at 3 o'clock. We'll start in the courtroom just to call the meeting to order. And we'll go to the courtyard right out front of Borough Hall where I anticipate a large crowd of law enforcement and firefighters and community members and some esteemed guests that will be here tomorrow at 3 p.m. So very happy for him in these dates. That's what I have.
All right,
That's a lot.
We're cooking.
do we have a executive session?
We do.
All right, so can I have a motion to adjourn to executive session?
I'll make such a motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
For the public's benefit, the executive session will pertain to pending litigation and tax court matter entitled Red Bank versus Riverview Medical Center. No action will be taken following the executive session. We will simply adjourn the meeting, and the executive session will take about 20 minutes, or no more than 20 minutes, I should say.
We're gonna take a 5-minute break. I'm gonna ask everyone else to clear the room and